Day 23 of the 2026 run streak. Let's do one of these stats. So I did over 3 miles in just 3.23 miles in just under 30 minutes. So I think it's safe to say I finally reached my goal of a average 9-minute mile pace. And it took 3 weeks. It took 23 days, but this was after consistently running every single day, consecutive 23 days of running. This was after over 50 miles of running. So it's doable to achieve your goals within a matter of weeks, but you have to be consistent with it. My number one advice is, and I learned it pretty quickly after that first week, after the first 8 days, or even maybe 6-7 days, my legs were so sore. And then that's when my body was like, whoa, hold on there now. And then so you learn really quick. If you're younger, it's going to be harder for you to maintain that discipline of knowing when it's okay to take it easy, right? In the running community, we have a common saying that says, run slow to run fast. That just basically means you don't have to go hard every single day. You don't have to give it your all every single day. But participation, that's just all it takes, right? And I always have said that you're not always going to be motivated to run. There's days, a lot of people ask for advice, like, what do you do on the days where you just don't want to do it? Do it anyway, right? It's a lot like life. We don't want to go into work every single day, but we know we have to do it. And so if you want to maintain, again, that cardio health, body health, if you want to get stronger, you have to do it every single day. It has to be habit forming. As a coach, that is something I consistently say to, our 13-year-old students. Not every day is a good practice day. I mentioned yesterday that Friday's practice was rough. It was really, really rough. And yes, you do get frustrated, but still show up for yourself for the benefit. And what I commented on another person's post when they were asked, like, what do you do when you just don't want to run? You have to develop consistency, because the gratification of your work comes after it's done. That's, Nike slogan, right? Just do it. Just do it anyway, because you're not going to experience gratitude until after the work is done. And not everybody wants to work every single time. So you just have to form that habit of doing it anyway. You don't want to, but you're going to do it anyway. And you will thank yourself for having done it, even though you didn't want to at first. A lot of things were on my mind as I was out there. The news, again, out of Minnesota. And again, where I come from, we run for strength. We run for medicine. We run for prayer because of that endurance. And I saw another Native individual that I follow here from the Two-Spirit community, who is a recovering addict, who's a former addict, who offers words of inspiration and wisdom and encouragement to his followers, to their followers. Yes, Auntie Jade. It just really comes down to, and this is what the Indigenous community, I think, knows. We know. But unfortunately, I think our generation has honestly dropped the ball in forming community. How we get through this, how we get through tough times, is you have to foster community. And I think my generation has fumbled the ball on this one, because we always reminisce and talk about, back when we were kids, right? We could head out into our neighborhoods and not tell our parents had no clue where we were. We were just out in the boonies or out in the desert or out in the forest, just building our forts and getting in fights with the other other res kids, Nobody knew what we were doing, but, we knew we could rely on one another to keep one another safe to an extent, right? I'm not saying everybody is 100% okay, but we lost the sense of community. And we have to foster that again. As much as a Native community understands and knows and talks about fostering community, it used to be so much better than what it is now. Our children are missing Our children don't come home. Our children are having children, right? So we have to foster community. We don't let things happen when we foster community, when people take care of each other. And so my run was out of calling for the strength for our people to get through this, calling for the strength of our people to come together. People just have to stand up together. As tired as we are, still look out for one another, still advocate for each other, and let your voices be heard. Don't hide in intimidation anymore. The Native community especially, we know these conditions all too well. The Black community knows these conditions all too well. The Asian community knows these conditions all too well. The Arab community knows these conditions all too well, right? We know what it takes to endure. But now we have to summon the strength and the power to stand up again instead of dealing with the complacency. In the Native community, we just have a common saying like, that's how things are, or that's how they are, right? What do we do to foster change? We develop community. We foster community. And so when I was at my tea tasting event earlier today, I like interacting with the people, right? It's people maybe you see at other events that you've attended in the past, but it's always fun when there's someone new that attends these things. And as much knowledge as I know, you guys know what I post here, right? Everybody comments on my tea knowledge and what I've managed to come across and learning on my, just whatever resources are out there in my local community, but also online tea community, and willing to share that knowledge with other people. So I think I made a new connection with an individual who's interested in tea. So hopefully, there's another sense of fostering community there. And I just want to share with you one piece that I walked away with. And so in my last post, I shared that I got this teapot specifically for brewing black tea. Before I left on my run, I put a sampler packet of black tea that the tea shop gave me, the tea house gave me, for seasoning this pot. This is the very first brew that has been in this teapot. And so this tea isn't necessarily for drinking. It is just for the sake of seasoning this pot to be ready to brew black tea, which is what I intend to do with this. And so these tea leaves have just been sitting in this pot for the last half hour, getting ready to season. And so because the inside clay is porous, it's not glazed. It's a porous clay. It's going to develop all that flavor inside of it. And so day 23 of consistently running every single day. And it was a little bit cloudy, it was a little bit cooler temperatures. And again, just another reminder, I am not using the weather as an excuse to not run. It's too cold. It's raining outside, No excuses, find a way to get it done. That is what I am telling myself, because I am conditioning myself to be disciplined and to not easily make excuses. That is why I wanted to commit to this challenge for myself. Day 23 out of my short-term goal of 100 days, and I am halfway to my first 100 miles of the year. Ang pasang mo.